VR headset like this, and obviously the volume's going to be not exactly ideal for playing this, but I do need to press start because listening to this tune does get really repetitive and annoying quite quickly. But given the fact that my current circumstances, I can't access my main equipment, I'm trying to do the best with what I've got. I do live in a family establishment, or just basically with family, and they will come in, and there will be some background noise from them as and when. Potentially even TV, but there's not much I can do on that, sadly. So.
Dreaming of the stars on high that speak to me in secret sighs, drifting on a breeze. Only I can feel and hear.
Really love that intro. That's why I didn't talk over it. So, just to recap, basically I'm with my family. Obviously there's background noise will come in back and forth. I'll try and keep it to a minimal, and keep objective to the story, and obviously help people out. This is a game that originally came out on GameCube and it was 1 to 4 players. However, most people will not played it 4 player or even 2 or 3, because the original problem with this, which is why it was a sort of a game beyond its time, is that you needed the GameCube itself, then you needed a Game Boy Advance or a Game Boy device, and then a load of wiring with it to then be able to play multiplayer. Of which was a lot of hassle, a lot of batteries, and it wasn't viable at the time to do so easily. Quite frankly, it was even hard to get these cables in some places because, quite frankly, they were sold out quite fast. And then even find them now, sort of difficult. So we'll call a town something unoriginal. So damn it. Yeah, I forgot that there isn't actually that one. So we'll do one better. A play on words from Teeper. There you go. We can have Pitta. But anywho, so a whole game and how you play this will differ massively on character selection, depending if you're playing it solo or with people. Now, bear in mind I've not played this on multiplayer yet on the PS4, but it is compatible with quite a few devices anyway at the moment. Dawn, the morning of my departure was here at last. I tried to brace myself for the journey ahead. There was a field along the main road where I decided to camp until sunrise. So tomorrow I search for myrrh. Okay, so you'll have to collect drops of myrrh through the story. Okay, so every year it's going to be pretty much the same thing. You'll search for X amount of myrrh, you know, and that. So there are 4 tribes in the game. Obviously, you choose 8 members. I generally tell people. I generally tell people to stick to 1 or 2 of these tribes, and also to stick to 1 character as long as possible, because unless they're doing multiple playthroughs online, because quite frankly, the more you divide and split your character up, the more problematic it can be late game. But once you've maxed a character out, obviously there's no problem like doing it on on someone else's playthrough. So there are 4 tribes, obviously. Clavats, which basically are your all-rounders. They are generally all-rounders. They're great in a team setup. They're great on an individual setup as well. But they don't really excel at really anything. You have to sort of make them excel. The Lilties, pretty much high defense in the sense of like physical defense, high physical attack, not really great at magic. On the other side, you've got the Ukes, obviously high magic attack, obviously high magic defense, but obviously physical, not so great. And you have Selkies, which are pretty much thieves, so they've got a bit more movement in the sense of options. But the Ukes and the Lilties, you can play them in solo formats. I just don't see them as... They're very good at certain points in the game. Like, I've played through with Ukes, I've played through with Lilties, I've played through with Clavats and Selkies, but if you're new, Selkies and Clavats are generally easier to get through the game with. So, the Selkies specifically give you a bit more options in my opinion. So, right, one sec, just get a message from fanbase here, or not big fanbase. So, we'll go for a Clavat for this time. Normally I go Selkies, but let's go Clavat. We'll go Whitecap just for the fun of it. Obviously, they added an extra character cosmetic per group, obviously, for male and female. There's still more to unlock in the game. I like that. So as for the home job types, the majority of these don't make a difference, like massively in the story, but some do. So for example, blacksmith and the tailor will help you early on in the game, but they fade out. Merchant's just good for really gold, same with alchemists. However, everything else, if you want something that's going to give you a decent supply of resources that you can use in a plethora of ways, so for example, if you eat, to regen health, etc., or you want to sell it, this is probably your go-to. Obviously, farmer, rancher, miller, fisher. However, you have to be careful because, quite frankly, you can still end up getting a preference you don't really like, even with the specific field you want. For this, we'll just go for a merchant because I'm not that care about that. We'll go for. We'll call this magical character the greatest character in Minecraft. Steve. So, even though it's female, doesn't really matter because, quite frankly, Steve is female. Okay. So, obviously, there's two real ways you can go out: set off together and set off individually. So, bear in mind, like, grouping up in this game is only one person will advance the story, the rest won't, but they'll get the experience and resources from it. As far as I've seen, I've been told. I've not got a chance to play that far and do that. So this game can be completed really quickly, and it's very personalised and dialogue depending on who you go for. The whole relationship with your family will make a difference. So, the merchant's daughter sent off, Steve, yes, and it's Steve from Minecraft. And this is the family, and depending on your relationship with the rest of the family will depend on the gifts you get, etc. It's always good to sort of maintain a great relationship with family if possible. However, it's not overall super essential, it just helps early game. Mid-game onwards, it can still help, but not as much. It's not as impactful. Unless you're really wanting food and you're taking way too much damage. So, obviously this is more of the tutorial. When you move around, you can get these little cutscenes, which are basically memoirs of the story. There are a load of memoirs of the story, and a lot of them are triggered by moving up and down certain places, or doing certain things at certain times. Some things are related to options you choose as well.
You are the caravan from that village, are you not? I heard they were sending out a new caravan. You seem quite capable.
This is where you get your first character to help you out if you're playing solo.
I am captain of the caravan from the great fortress at Alphataria. Our caravan boasts a history that stretches back thousands of years. But let us discuss that some other time. Stiltskin, you have a moment? This is the village caravan. Come on, say hello.
So, obviously, if you've played any of the Final Fantasy game,
Allow me
you
to
reference to Stiltskin.
Stiltskin. He may not look it, but he is a seasoned adventurer. Even we turn to him for counsel from time to time.
No, I'm just a Moogle that likes to get around. I learned all sorts of things in my travels before I knew it. I'm on my way somewhere right now, but I can teach you a thing or two if you like.
I'm alright, I know how to play
highly
this game.
recommend you accept his offer.
Yes, you wouldn't want to miss out.
I am good, thanks.
Well, I'm sure she will do just fine.
By the way, are you setting out all by yourself, Capo? You've got a lot on your shoulders, Capo. Let me carry the crystal chalice for you, Capo.
Yes,
So, one of the
a
things that they
capital
put in
proposal.
this was
Let Mog help.
voiceovers. However,
Be careful out there. You don't want to get in over your head.
a lot of the voices do seem to come across like sort of teenage-ish years, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Right, at the start of this, you're going to have a couple of things that you're going to need to take note of, obviously if you're new, but we are going to be getting Mare, which means you have to go to a said area. You can't just find it randomly going up and down. There are basically what you would class as gates. Not far from the village, someone called to me. The man introduced himself as Solrax, leader of the caravan from Alphataria. He recommended I ask the Stiltskin to hurry on, but I decided to ignore him basically. That's the memory. So there are 999 memories in this game currently. A bit of an expansion, in my opinion. But that's some family. So setting that together, you can do a dungeon with a friend, for example. You can create or play with others. So this is where you would do it, ideally with friends. Since I've not really done it, the fusion system can help out. It's a nice little new mechanic that I've not really seen too much in a lot of other games. And bear in mind, if you just DC and look at the fine print, it's in order to collect your drops of myrrh. You have to create your own lobby. Party members who can't get to some dungeons will be able to access these by playing with friends. Bear in mind, there was also the light version of this, so that can be referenced to it. So, I could host, join a lobby, all the rest of it. I prefer to play with friends, but either way, we'll set out together. So here it goes. It's like, sorry, I thought someone was messing with me. We have this first area to the right, and obviously in the tip of peninsula, which is kind of funny given the fact that regardless of however you call your town, it's always the tip of peninsula. Something that I really disagreed with, because obviously it's named after the town, and it's not the town. Anywho, so to get through the first top bit, you need to get a elements. So you're going to be restricted to come here anyway. Right, doesn't matter about changing your elements at this point, because I think the first one is wind, and you will need to change it. And you can just come in here, ignore doing the boss, go straight up to there and do it. It doesn't overall help though. I'll let you enjoy the cutscene.
Wicked creatures prowl the road along this beautiful riverbank, but nobody's ever seen one. I once asked a man why. He simply replied, because anybody who happens upon one is promptly eaten. But it is long since anyone has met such a fate. For nowadays, people take another route, far away from the spooky old road. Only we walk the old way now, travellers in crystal caravans.
So in a minute we'll be asked to do a confirmation check just to see whether or not we want to proceed, really, or change anything. So, a couple of things you need to note here is that first off, do all the added challenges because they do help you out. Kill all the little extra guys, they do really help. Collect and pick up everything you can find, especially early game. Does really help. Being a collector, so first off, we'll drop this, get Monk to pick it up in a minute, because we're going to need it. Drop like that, drop this, so we can get this down, just for this part of the bridge. Pick this up, give it Monky. Come on, Monk. So, the difference being is like, Clavats, I've got more of this sort of jump, rather than the shot that Sulky has. So, also Clavats do, I think, slightly more damage at the start, whereas Sulky's, I think, need a third hit, but they just hit faster. So we'll go this way first. So we'll be killing these off bit by bit. Don't worry about taking too much damage early game, because quite frankly, like, as long as you don't go down to 0 health, you're fine. So, this should give us cure. Usually get cure quite early. So, we'll have an objective sooner or later, which will be like kill extra amount of enemies or charge attacks, for example, like that. So, what we're after is a Thunderstone. Apple. So to open this gate, because I remember when I played this as a kid, like I couldn't work out how to do it straight away. It's just a stone. It's a stone puzzle. Most of these are really just the same. They don't really differ too much. It was sort of one of the shortcomings of the game, but it's also makes it relatively easy to understand. So you should already have a Phoenix down equipped And if you don't, you should always have one, just in case you muck up. So, that one's always locked, but later on in the story, bear in mind things change over the seasons and years, so you have to find alternative routes. Bosses change as well, and as well get more powerful. So, one of the things you can do is this. So, let's swap this out. Which creates a fire service. Obviously, which hurts allies as well. But still needs it. So, we got Raise there. So, at this point, we don't really need fire on too much. It seems stupid, but really the only thing we're going to need early on is a cure. I'm alright to trade with this. Nice chap. So here's where we get one for defeating one of the tougher guys, Shuriken. So, you're probably wondering why we're killing everything and picking everything up, but it actually relates to the reward you'll get at the end of the story. Oh, well, not necessarily story, but area. Okay, first off, pick this up. Mark, drop. Thank you. We'll change you over. There you are, pick up Mark. It's all yours. So, we'll drop this down now because, quite frankly, it makes life easier later in the game. So this game can be completed in 5 years, in-game years, not human years, obviously. But you can also complete it in 5 years, or keep just going through as much as you like. There was a way to infinite it. I don't know if it still stays infinitable. But yeah, as long as you don't do the final mission on this, it was basically, you could play this as long as you like with your friends, go all the way. Day's been fine. How's yours been? So there we go. So the minute we're just going around collecting these artifacts, because these are the ones that really make or break your story at this point. Key thing to note is if you move too fast, by the way, you at your college and a wonderful education system. Right, well we've opened this so we can go up here. So these moves are just a bit of a problem. They're not a major problem, but they're just nice to get rid of. Yeep. Don't be scared to trade out with these at the minute because, quite frankly, nothing should really one-shot you at this point in the game. So, things to take note is we're looking for a couple of things. So, Moggles are one of the things in the story that you do want to keep finding, other than this one. Okay, another bit of Phoenix down. They're always good to have, but don't clog up your whole inventory space with Phoenix Downs, because, you know, you only realistically need 1 or 2 a mission, unless you really struggle with it, in which case then you have to take into consideration the enemy's attack patterns and everything else. There we go. So this bronze nut is just going to help us with weapons at this point. Designed for gloves, help us with armour. Being a merchant we can buy a few things, but not that much. That'll make a big difference in the story. It's easy to forget that you just like not craft something and it can be really impactful in this game. So, run down here. The map itself isn't really big, but it's just really lengthy given the fact that you have to go the long way around. Come open this door up now. Come on, yep. So in future, if you ever want to skip it, you can just come back this way and just shortcut it. Sweet. Are you planning on going for it, or are you keeping it secret till later? Come here, you hedgehog. Well, it's actually hedgehog pie. Right, go through, get these up. So, after a bit, we don't really need these. Nice. So, at this point we can only change to these. Attack and defend always has to be part of your command list. So, these will eventually disappear. The magic, which is the equivalent of materia in this game. Everything else that you pick up, like fruit, stuff like that, gives you temper increase to strength magic. This is why I say it can be useful, being part of one of the field group farms like Rancher and all the rest of it to help you out, depending on what you're planning on going. But your character also has a preference, so it does sort of not as be impactful if your preference isn't the right one. But you can sort of change that, it takes time. So, the way we proceed forward is actually underneath there for the boss, but we're not going there. Not yet, anyway. There's still bits to explore. So obviously that's the water thing. So these can give you a Moggle stamp, but at this point in the game, it's not something that they can do yet. But do take note, because you will be able to use this sooner or later. I think it's year 2 or year 3, you should be able to come back and they'll be pretty much set up. You can get that free Moggle stamp. So, I'm going through here to the boss. And then... not a difficult boss, but 2 ways you can beat this quite easy. One is just pure magic. The other is sort of getting its blind spot. Now, it's a water type, so thunder does actually help. Well, I say water type, it's just mainly a water creature anyway. So... Right, never be afraid to change stuff like that in the middle of combat, so... don't really need this at the moment, so... Can't afford to get hit by that though. He only has really 2 attack patterns, so he'll do A and A, which is that. Or sweep, melee attack. So if you want to get him, this is like the worst thing that can happen to you now, so it's just slow. Thunder? I swear it was Thunder that did a lot of damage to him. Must be wrong. Ah, it's Blizzard. It's been a while. This is a good time to switch this out. No? Go on. There you go. Cook a crab fail. So, this should be the first meter that we got at this point of the game. So, this is just like one drop from the tree, and of like 3. Later on you'll be able to make choices of what you want to go for. This is where your interactions with your family start to play an impact. So we have to wait for the little mini-mog to come and get mail. You've got mail.
Mail Moogle at your service, Capo. Capo! Here you go, Capo.
Right, so this is our relationship meeting with everything else. So depending on what your option you choose, depending if you give them a gift, it can affect your relationship. Sometimes giving gifts can be good, sometimes it can actually not be as effective. Depends on what you... So here's defeat enemies with focused attacks, so this is our bonus points. So basically just what we had to do. So early game you have a lot of options. Right. Ignore, 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 right? All these three all great. Early game, this is what you want. An extra command slot or two. This means you can use Cure and use an offensive magic. It gives you a bit more an all-roundness, especially if you're a solo player. If you're not a solo player, you don't need to worry about it unless you play as the utility player. Because you obviously want life and Cure or life and, or Cure and fire or whatever. Like any, or if you like your black mage and you want like power up to fire, yeah, that sort of stuff. Well, Clavat, should I say more than
Have you
anything.
heard of the Black Knight?
No,
They
he
say
hasn't.
he's on a journey to master the art of combat. Few these days ever set out to better themselves. You would do well to master something before your journey ends.
So there's a bit of a tip from the game creators to master something. So, whilst we just wait for a mini Moogle to load into the next bit, one of the next areas you want to go to is, rather than proceed forwards, go to Port Peter. Even though it's like See, this is what it's like, Tipa Peninsula but Port Peter, like, you know. It gets really confusing. So, yes, we'll hop into here. This is where we can get you one of your first stamps. So,
Hello, Capo.
yes, that's right, we're going for a stamp. And we can also paint the Moggle here. You need Moggle stamps, 23 spares.
Capo. Capo.
So there's the first one. I don't really use the crystals for that sort of stuff, but you know. I do remember coming in through another passage through the roof in the previous one, and you come out there. New diary entry, given the fact that you just got a mini Moogle thing. Doesn't matter which way you go here, because you'll exit to the world map anyway. Just to prove what I know. There's only really that down there for the time being that we really need to take note of. So, other things we can just leave for the moment. Like, we don't really need to go between the ports because, quite frankly, we can still go fly here. So, one of the things that you... That is water. Actually is water as well. One thing I did not do right. Thought it was Earth. So, we'll just change it to water. Once you've done it and you found both of them, you can just switch across quite easily. Not something I really wanted to show you then, right then and there, but yeah. So, in this area, there is another place you can go, which is to the right where those rocks are, but at this point in the game, we can't access it yet. I won't tell you what it is if you don't know what it is, but yeah. Now, to proceed through this, we obviously need to match the corresponding element for the miasma to go through. If not, what happens is you just get shot back like a shotgun, and sometimes you just get... My one experience is that ended up losing the crystal this way and just died. As a kid, which was a pain in the ass. And the one time that I could play multiplayer, it did split us up a little bit. Which was a bit of a pain in the ass. So... Right. Moving across from the tip of the peninsula should be around the pit of peninsula to this area. Now, on my... Normally I would say, oh, just go straight across to the mushroom thing, but yeah, let's not. Right. There are other monks to get. Also, it's just nice to unlock this, because I believe you have to go to these places to actually unlock the transportation for the ship later on. Now that you don't have to go all the way down, but just going into the area does do it. I do remember something else around here, but I can't remember the foggiest. I think it actually unlocks later on. So, the other mog that we will be getting is in the town. It's not actually in a real difficult place to find. If you're new or not, you should be able to work out where he is. But this is where you can upgrade some of your equipment. Should you do it now? If you're going to do it after you've gone to the mine. So there's like really two ways you can go. You go through the mine way, or you go through the forest, mushroom forest. Both are good options. I prefer going through the forest last. So this is where it is, where Mini Mogul is, number 2. I think this one though gives you access to a crystal straight away. So that one doesn't really do anything.
Hello, Kapo. Kapo.
There you go. So yeah, that just basically means that whenever you're in a town and that, you lose your ability to mimic, so. I don't really use them yet, but I don't really intend to use them until I've collected the whole set, so. So we don't have any iron at this point, but we can make this. So we need more bronze for that, and we need iron for that. So now, there's some things you can buy, some things you can't. So
Hey!
as you can see, the price of stuff isn't quite a bit. Now, what I'm going to be buying, what I can afford to sell is this cherry cluster, because don't really need it. These 3 apples, don't really need it, and we'll keep the rainbow grapes but get rid of the round corn. Right, because we're not planning on going back for the bronze, We'll buy that. Not because there's no real reason to go back into that first area for bronze. We will get bronze and iron, but you know, it's a lot easier to just do this now. Oh yeah, I forgot it takes 100 gil to buy. To craft, should I say. So come on.
Hey!
So we'll sell, not that because can't afford to. Can't afford to sell anything else. So we got this for later. So ignore all this for the time being now. Thought we had a little bit more currency, but that's cool. So this will have more diary entries on the world map. Right, so with that in mind, we'll go here first rather than the other way. So the mine of Kefaridges. I struggle to pronounce this all the time. Just move my screen a little bit so I can actually see better. And as we come through here, obviously we'll get a bit of a cutscene, so I'll just mute myself for the time being.
When the grandfather of my grandfather's grandfather was still a child, no one in this land could challenge the might of the Lilties. They forged weapons of iron to bring the world under their dominion. But eventually, the mine was exhausted, and the Lilties' unstoppable conquest ground to a halt. The Lilties' ambition vanished along with the iron. They abandoned the mine, where monsters now thrive.
Right, I'm back. So, this is where we can get the iron and the various other things. These will be considerably tougher than the other area that we started in, so now this is where you have to be more careful. If you've got an option obviously to upgrade armour of damage at this point. So we don't really need, so obviously pick up one here now. Morgan, pick that up. So we don't have anything in the command list yet, but we'll get one. So double block. So we're just going to clear these up. Usually you're going to find cure and potentially raise as one of the first two things in this. Always stay away from them because typically they explode. But this is where we're going to get our iron. Okay, doesn't matter if I'm on fire because it won't really do much at this point. Always double check around here because sometimes there are chests in some of the parts, not all of them. Always good to check. So now we have iron. The only thing we really need to do for the first year now is to just get money. So all we've been doing is pretty much been manoeuvring this cart around. So I think we have to switch it first one. Yep. Otherwise what it does is it takes it the other way. Which basically is the wrong way and we just lose the cart. You can get the cart back again from the start, so don't worry about it if you muck that up. Potatoes and a fish. Right. See that through? We're not going to follow it yet. So you've obviously got cash. It's not a lot. We're not expected to get a lot of money at this point. But 200 gills what we're aiming for. So we will follow this round for the time being. So I was looking at the actual area I needed to go then, more than where I needed to. So we have to go up. If you proceed this way, that's the dead end. This is worth killing now. So rather than use raise here, I'm going to get fire on. And if you haven't already worked out that combination of stuff, you put two of these together and put fuse. At this point we don't have it, so we only have fire. He's going to go nuts. So, as for the relics, here's the thing with them. Well, artifacts should I say rather than relics, but they're just about the same sort of thing in this game anyway. So, see, all this will change is this track here, and that's the one you need to change to proceed on. Push that in, that's done. That means you can go into the next area with the cards. So, why are we not proceeding forward? Because this way there's another access point to something else. Normally they ain't that dumb, so... So, yeah. There are bombs in cages, and we are coming here for the cash though. He'll explode soon. And that's fine. Well, I say cash, it's realistically speaking, we're only coming here for a couple of things, so one of the few things you're going to want now is, I think, it's Manita is one of the two that you really realistically want from this area early on, just because it gives you a nice bonus and stats. You can always save like the other one at the start for something a bit more worth it. So now we're on here. Can have a good nosy around. I always like to double check because sometimes in these dungeons you never quite get the same things in the same area on any given year, so it's always good to double check. Also, besides that, it's
your turn.
okay. I'll take the child sofa. So, one of the requirements of completing this game is you have to go to all of the areas and specifically beat all the bosses at least a minimum of times once, then go to the final area and beat the final boss.
Carry the chalice, Capo.
Before you retired? Whatever. I'll carry the chalice for you a little bit longer. Mini Mark. You fight the enemies for me, Mark. Go on then, go pick it up, because I know you won't fight anything. We'll go and kill these enemies off here, so. So, there's a chest nearby, we'll grab that. I think it's up here, but I might be wrong, it might be on the lower segment. Yeah, it is on the lower segment. Nothing major, but we still can use it. When we get a second material, I'll show you how we can fuse it. Well, when I say second material, something that we can't combine with that's going to be useful. So, because at the minute we only have Cure. Okay, we have Fire and Blizzard, so we use this to create Gravitar. We can also split it so they're individual, or we can fuse it back again. It'll automatically fuse them together, so if you don't want them fused, just don't. Grav is not a good one though, in my opinion. It's good on bosses though, to an extent. It's just treat it like demo. Oh, might die here. Not as much. So even though you can switch out of defense quite into attack, you never switch back into it as you could originally. So we will need that piece, and we want that. Also, very good piece of thing we just picked up there. Those are the ones you really want to be going for. These not so much, other than for like items. Clear card. So, what happens if you make 2 cures? Funnily enough, nothing. However, how you do it again? There's a fair few things you can use stuff for, but that's what we're going for. Cast this over here. Show you the effect first, and it hits quite hard, totally. Especially. Depending on how you want to play, obviously, like the options are. For me, I'm not really a magic user, so I should be avoiding it. But I do get better defense than the other characters, so. Go. Some of these are really good, some of these are just a bit meh. And you'll see later, especially early on. So we can just increase our strength up to pretty much get 99 as quick as possible. Something that I've seen so many people miss, such a funny one.
Hello, Capo.
We'll paint Mog another time. Mog painting later. Paint him like an Easter egg. Well, probably on a different episode, because I'm planning on just showing you the first year and how to get yourself sorted out. Wherever possible, you don't want to be buying like materials if you can farm them. So you just go through this, get him done. They're the easier ones to do because you just get in the face. The other ones you dependent. There isn't one there. But I didn't want to bait you to think there was possibly one there. Sorry. Always makes me too. Makes me laugh. There are a lot of little hidden mogs and other things about. So this is one of the easier of the two bosses, in my opinion. Getting here isn't the difficult bit. Well, it is more of the difficult bit for this one than it is the forest. The forest is sort of moderately challenging, and then the boss is more challenging because of all the ailments that it can do to you. Whereas this way, it's sort of like the boss isn't too tough, but the enemies can, if you're not careful, can get you. Depending on what your stats are. So we got the ultimate this time. The ultimate's not exactly too tough. So but his minions will cause problems for you. So we don't move. Use this to actually get his. So you're probably wondering where we get the 5th heart from. This is due to an item. Well, an artifact. So when you pick up these artifacts, you get to use all the benefits during the actual mission, but you don't get to keep all of them post. You only get to choose one. So one of the ones we have is called 5th heart. fire. Yeah, he can be baited into this poison. Okay, this is where we need to swap this out. Finishes himself off mostly, so you just have to just wait it out. Right guys, I will be having a quick toilet break, so I'll back momentarily.
Hail Moogle at your service,
Right, I'm
Capo.
back. So,
Capo,
it's the second interaction, so
here you
let's
go,
see what
Capo.
this should be from family rather than the actual village chief. Just because why not?
I've got your reply, Capo.
Because why not? Just mess around.
So long, Capo.
So, the options we should have is Mage Masher, which I think gives us a few extra into our magic, and then we've got Man Eater, which gives us extra attack. Then we'll have an extra heart. So, these are options. Strength, sorry, Rune Bell, that's one of the ones we wanted, really, so we can gain another heart is the other one. So, we'll take Rune Bell, because we're lower in magic anyway. And ideally you want to try and create a balanced character, if you're solo, so you can try and deal with the fact that, you know, some enemies are going to take more damage or be easier, more receptible to physical and some more to magical, so. Right. Did not mean to press circle on that, so. We will choose this character. So, go across. So we just remember we unlock the fire one. Now, this is Earth. Now, by doing this, we actually trigger another cutscene off.
Hail, Caravaner!
Greetings and good day.
So they're returning back home because they've finished theirs off. Kimono mug. So I'm gonna head back down, back to town. Now I'm gonna stop actually like kitting our character out. So let's go here first because don't know how much I've got. Yeah, I thought so. We're a bit short, so we'll sell 3 of these because I don't really use them too much, and then we'll sell 2 of these. Get us a gil. Right, that should allow us to craft the novice's weapon. The reason we can't do that is obviously it's a different tribe, but still. We cannot craft this here because of... Ah. How we put all that prep work into? Right, sorry about that. So, can't really craft that at the minute, but we've got that set up for when we can. Obviously the gloves we can't really use because it's not for our species, so with that in mind, let's just wait for this lovely loading. Right, go over here. So this is where we're going to find it, so we can't actually move to the next section anyway because of the simple fact that we do not have the ability to. So those forests, they change element every year. So there'll be some years where you will not be able to pass them, so you will have to find alternative routes. Which is part of why we have the pier system, and you can use the ship to go up and down.
When I was a child, I once asked my mother, "Where did I come from?" She answered, "Why, we all sprouted from the mushroom forest, of course." Nightmares soon haunted my sleep. I dreamt that I was lost among the toadstools. I awoke in tears, but felt the warmth of my mother's embrace as she comforted me. It is something I still remember to this day.
Fungi forest. So we can't really change the command list. There are things we can get that will give us a start on, say, like cure or whatever we want. Sorry. Well, it's not necessarily the time. We should not have taken our damages for no reason. Yeah. So good on you. Cure's one thing I would recommend if everyone's teammates has it, so you don't have to have a dedicated support player. Then you can get max damage out, but when you need one, there's no reason why you can't. So like I said, the enemies in this area are easier than the mines on Caverge, but they're just more annoying in my opinion. So at the minute I don't have the one thing that I really would recommend to deal with this. So I'll just have to hold on and just wait. So we're looking for clear to get us rid of these side effects, because they're a pain in the ass. That's a slow effect. Oh, we actually got a chunk of iron here. Usually don't get that here, but potato. Right, we don't really need this, so the one thing that you need to know is that you don't actually need to have the element crystal to go back home once you've got to that point. For the third part. Third phase. As you can see that this is a blocked off section. So now we're here with slow. It'll cast that more than anything. Cat spell. So far we've had a 3 magic up. Sometimes it connects with 2, sometimes it just connects with 1. That's what we wanted, clear. We'll just trade out with him. We have the defense for it, so we can just easily trade. Double axe, sweet. If you have to lunge at these, always make sure you go to like the left or the right in the ending, so that if they do shoot you, you are not going to get poisoned again. Preferably don't, just go and run up and hit them from a distance. Just hit them once and then move. So. Okay to take damage from these two, because the rest don't really do much. So like first year, you don't need to worry about so much taking damage. However, like from year 2 onwards, they start cropping up quite a bit, so if you're not careful, you will end up just getting swamped for damage. And then you'll end up needing more. Like health and all the rest of it, so you can maintain low hearts for a bit. We got that. So yeah, now we've got this. We can cast slow, for example. We're not going to use that for slow though. We will need this, so... So, wherever possible, you swap out Cure for Clear, or... There's no real... No, it doesn't work. So, I prefer Blizzard over the Thunderer, so, just for this one, because it's an old fan favourite, big boss. Yeah, this is the boss. He's not very big, but yeah, he's quite powerful and quite quick. So, first tip, get rid of these because they're a pain in the ass. will resummon them back if you get close. He will do something big. Okay. Now we move. Probably also works very well against him too, but I prefer Blizzard. Yeah, so this will be the last one we get this year, as well as the last artifact. And I will
Hail
show
Moogle
them.
at your service, Capo. Capo! Here you go, Capo.
So we'll be increasing our physical attack later on, so we don't need to worry so much about it. See, look, something as cheesy as that.
Don't keep me waiting, Capo.
Some really
I've got
stupid
your
answers
flag,
here.
Capo. So long, Capo.
So this is only really matter more if you're playing with a group, but yeah. First, this just basically gives you the choice to pick. If you're in a team where you're with friends, this is going to be not even much of an issue. So now, like, everything's a 1, right? If anything was a 2 or a 3, I would have gone and said, go and pick that, but because of what the area we're in, that's going to be quite the most best option at this point. Till we like level up our sword and everything else a bit more. So now we're refilling the crystal for another year. I don't even know who they are. The bonbon. Thought it was a pom-pom, but no, it's a bonbon. So we'll be continuing this tomorrow around 12. Thank you for all those who are watching, and let's have a quick look at the next year change so we can see when we may be going next. So we're in Tipper Peninsula, even though it should be Pitta Peninsula. So we'll be looking at 3 areas tomorrow, which obviously will be Tipper, Iron Mine, and the bit above. If you're not familiar with it, you'll have to wait and see. And these are some of the changes in the dungeons so far. And this is where you'll get your first optional choice. Thank you for watching, and have a pleasant day.